All right, my name is Mac, and I've been a runner since 2008. I've run tons and tons of races. I've got plenty of PRs, so I feel qualified to teach you this information. So we're going to go over the three main reasons why you are bonking in your race, and then we're going to tackle how you can actually, the strategies that you can use to not have those happen next time, because I want you to get faster, and I want to help you get that PR that you've been going after. So the three big reasons is your training, your fueling, and your hydration. So we're going to tackle each one so you can figure out, get to the root of your problem. And honestly, probably it's going to be a little bit of everything, is especially more of our like first time runners. Okay. So training load is two different pieces. One, you didn't train enough or properly leading into the race, or you during the race you went out too fast or too hot. So training, when you were leading up to it, we have to make sure that we kind of go in an overall cycle. I'm not going to fully break this down. There's some other videos that dive into more specific season training. And if you don't learn any of this information, you want to just get a private coach, there's a link down for that, so I can do it all for you. Okay. So you want to make sure that you have a full season wrapped around your training plan so that you are building up appropriately and having the right types of runs in so that you are maximizing your potential and getting enough rest, and you're just constantly kind of building up and getting faster as we go throughout our training season. And the one big key thing, especially when we're talking about bonking, is usually in our bigger, longer races or hitting that wall. Is that you want to make sure that you're slowly building up your long run and you are getting a close distance to what you want to hit. So typically, if you're going to do like the marathon, 26 miles, you usually want to go around like, if you're more of a newer runner, you want to hit like 20 at least once, 21, 22. You can get it, you can kind of get away with like maybe up to 18 if you're like a newer runner, where you can almost feel confident about at least finishing it. But if you're trying to get faster, usually you want to kind of aim more 22. Every so often, some people hit 24, but that's if you're a little bit more of an experienced runner and you have more mileage under your belt. So you just want to make sure you're slowly building up your long run and you are getting enough time on your feet. Because the biggest thing in marathon training and long distance, half marathon, trail racing, marathon, is that you want to spend more time on your feet. So even if you can't get necessarily like those full, really big long runs, you can kind of stack two medium long runs back to back and you can kind of get the same effect. Or even if you're building up throughout your week, you're getting more mileage on your feet, that can help you prepare better. And then when race day actually comes, you have to make sure that you are not going out too hot, that you're not hitting the gas right away, and you are going at a pace that you just can't sustain for 26 miles. Usually a good rule of thumb is the first half of your marathon should be like a little bit slower than your goal race pace, because so many people go out too fast in the marathon and absolutely blow up at 18, 19, mile 20, and it is just absolutely just dogging it in for the last 6 miles. So don't make that mistake. And if you did, it's totally understandable. So many runners do this, especially when you're not knowledgeable in it. So don't feel bad, but now we know and we can do better. So that's your training load, is just make sure that your training cycle, you are slowly building up and you are hitting some of those big long runs, or you're getting more long runs on your legs. And then during training, during your race, you want to make sure that you're not going out too hot or too fast. Okay, the second biggest piece is your fueling, and um this one's pretty big too, because a lot of, I think, especially even like me when I was younger, you almost feel like you don't, like, I can grit it out. I can be faster and I don't need as much fuel and I don't need to like hydrate. I don't need to, get all this food in me. Like, I can gut it out. But when you are especially aiming towards like the marathon, if you're going over anything over an hour and a half is when you want to start incorporating fuel. And that's even during your long runs. So some people, like, I can run a half marathon in under an hour and a half. So I don't have to have fuel. Sometimes it does benefit you a little bit still during that. But when you are hitting the marathon distance, you do want to make sure you have fuel, because you will get faster if you have fuel. And a lot of this comes down, so the recommendation usually is 40 grams to about 90 grams per hour. And you can get that in lots of different forms. Like, you can get it in bars, you can get it in normal food. There's some like high carb sports drinks. There's gels, and a lot of them are around like 40 grams. And usually want to aim for like every 30 to 45 minutes putting something into your body. And usually even a lot of marathoners will have like a little snack right before they, or like pop in a gel right before they even start the race. And just constantly hitting that fuel, because when you're hungry, when you're depleted, you have already lost. That's not the point you want to start fueling. You want to fuel before you're hungry, before you start feeling defeated. And so literally every 30 to 45 minutes, you want to ingest about 40 to 90 grams of carbs into your diet, however you get that in. And the biggest thing with this is to not wait till race day, is to practice it consistently in your training. And not just one time, not just 2 times, but practicing it multiple times and understanding what gels sit in your stomach well, how much can you intake, is there a point where it gets too much? Are you like feeling disgusted by some of these types of fuels? Because some are flavored, some aren't, some are caffeinated, some aren't. So a lot of the ones that we kind of recommend, are like GOO. Scratch Labs does like a carb drink. You can do some bars. I like the there's like gels or chews that you can also do. But just experiment with it. Practice it on your long runs. Practice putting it in your pockets or whatever you're running with, so that you can grab it. Practice like running and opening it up. Look at your marathon. Are they providing you any food that you can take, and see what kind it is, so you know that your stomach can handle it. And that's a big piece, is just the whole GI issues and feeling good throughout your race. So please practice it ahead of time, and it will make such a huge difference if you can just get anything. And if you're not like the numbers type of person, just grab one gel and see if does that work. And then try it every 30 to 45 minutes. And that's usually a pretty good range. The third and last piece is the hydration, and this is gonna tie in with your fueling as well. Usually it's recommended, I have my notes here, 500 to 1,000 milligrams per hour. And so the one thing that I like is Element, LMNT. Those have like 1,000 milligrams of salt. Those are insanely salty, so you can just pour that into water. And if you have like 4 of those or 3 of those, or you could go 2 of those, and it kind of depends. Like if you're a heavy sweater, you're probably going to need more electrolytes. If you're not, you could probably maybe get away with more, with less. And then when you're fueling, a lot of your gels, almost like all gels on the market, you have to have liquid in them. Otherwise, it messes up your stomach pretty bad. So when you're fueling, fuel and make sure taking water or electrolytes. You can also do salt tablets, like little pills that you almost just ingest, and it is salt. So you could do it that way if you don't want to like chug so much water, if you're not into the super salty stuff. So there's lots of recommendations, but the biggest thing is just playing around with it, practicing it before race day, and a little bit goes a long way. And not only practicing like the amount, the flavors, the different types, practicing taking it out of your pocket, practice like picking it up, doing loops around your house so that you can do it. And I know it can kind of get annoying or old, but again, a little bit goes a long way. So hopefully that helps you not bonk at your next race. If you have questions, feel free to ask. I have other things in the description you, of course, can check out. Cheers to getting faster and getting the next PR.